Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's had a fantastic week. Just want to keep talking about the video I did the other day about bringing back boring and what that actually translates to in your business and your work life. So, if you missed it the other day, bring back boring is a concept about when we're feeling a bit overwhelmed or anxious about the amount of stuff that's going on, like the amount of work we got, the amount of staff we got, the amount of jobs come in, not enough jobs coming in, the stress of finding work or having too much work to be able to sort out to get done. I was discussing the other day that overwhelm is, for me, is a fear of something that may or may not go wrong in the future. So we get overwhelmed that something may not happen and we start making the problem bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, bringing back boring is a concept, a theory about when we're starting to feel like that, if we can focus on the present moment, focus our thoughts on the present moment, what's actually happening right now, and what the process is for that particular thing that we're working with. So say we talked about the other day, say it's about making some sales. So what is the next step? I know we can fast forward 3 months and go, if I don't make some sales, I'm not going to be able to pay this, not going to do that, I'm not going to have some income, I might have to go work for someone, blah, 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 blah. All these fears come up and we start stressing about feeling overwhelmed about something that may or may not happen in the future. But if we break it right down into a simpler step, what is the 3 things we need to do today to focus on? Now, that might be following up calls, building some, talking to some previous clients, or building some relationship with people in our network. That's things we can actually focus on today. So bringing back boring is about breaking it down into simple steps. Now, I was thinking about this morning how to better just explain that, and the best way I can just explain it is, it's like Google Earth. Now, who here hasn't used Google Maps or Google Earth to search their own house? I know I've done it. My kids have done it. A lot of people I know have done it. So when you type in your address in Google Earth, you'll see usually the big picture. You may get your state, or you may get your city, or you may get a big chunk of your city, but you see this little dot that your house may be in, all right? And you have all this busyness around where you're focusing, on where your property is, where your house is, all this stuff around. So in business, the overwhelm, or the big picture, is stepping back in your business, seeing all the moving parts that need to get done in the next 12 months or 3 years. There's so many moving parts, and the overwhelm comes from thinking about how am I going to get all these moving parts in sync, and still have a life, and still be able to spend time with my family, and still do the things I love to do. All these things going on, and particularly when you're under stress and you've got all these things going at the same time, is when overwhelm starts to build up. So Google Earth is something similar. That's an example. When you step back and see all these moving parts, just imagine your business like Google Earth. But when you zoom in, what happens? All the busyness seems to disappear. You're zooming in, this is pretty odd, I'm zooming in on my phone. Zooming in to a point where you're looking at your house. And all you can see is your house. You're focusing on your house, and there's nothing else going on there. Same in your business. If you're able to zoom into the next step, the next part of what you need to do, all of a sudden, all the busyness is out of your peripheral. It's out of your view. So, in business, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that it's not important to take a Google view of your business. I think it's very important to make sure you're going in the right direction. Step back, and then step in and execute. Step back, step in and execute. And it's counterintuitive because when we're feeling a bit overwhelmed, we tend to step back because we want a bit of space, want to breathe. Then we step back because we're getting a bit, more overwhelmed, more stressed, and we step back. But what happens is we're creating more view and more picture of what's going on, which creates more overwhelm because we're seeing more and more and more of all the things we have to do that may or may not go wrong. But in reality, most of the time they don't go wrong. Nothing, catastrophic really happens to all of us. We have things that happen, but not all the time. So if you can think, when you start to feel overwhelmed, step into it. It's very counterintuitive, step into it. What you'll see is things start disappearing. Things will start moving away. Because you can only really, when you get real close to something, you can focus on 1 or 2 things at the best of times. So that's what I was saying, what we were talking about the other day in the video about bringing back boring. It's about keeping it really simple. Just think Google Earth, big picture, global view. When we want to execute something in our business, zoom down into the process, into the next step, execute, step back, how are we going, zoom in, next part of the process, step back. So if you're finding yourself a bit overwhelmed now or, coming up, just think about it that way. Take a breath, step in, take a breath, step towards, and then reduce the amount of noise that's happening. I know it's counterintuitive because you feel like you need to do everything, but the reality is you need to reduce your overwhelm so you can focus to get shit done. Anyway, have a great day today. If you're on my email list, you would have got an email this morning that come the beginning of financial year, I'm going to run a short case study program, like a program that is going to go for 6 weeks to really set you up for the next 12 months. If you're interested in participating in that short 6-week program, hit me up, personal message me or email me case study, and we'll book a time to chat and see if we're the right fit. Anyway, have a great week. Only a couple of days to go, and see ya. Bye.